Look at the device in your hand. Look at the lights illuminating your room. Look at the grocery store down the street, packed with food from thousands of miles away. We are told this is the pinnacle of human achievement. We call it modern civilization. But what if I told you that everything keeping you alive right now is running on a massive, invisible financial timer? And that timer is ticking down to zero. That is the total global debt. A number so large it defies human comprehension. It means our entire world is currently operating on money that does not exist. We aren't just living in an economy, we are living inside the largest, most volatile financial bubble ever constructed in human history. And the terrifying truth most people realize too late, it was designed to pop. To understand why your world is fundamentally unsustainable, you have to understand the fundamental lie of modern economics. The lie is simple: infinite growth on a finite planet. Every single corporation, every major bank, and every government budget relies on a single metric: GDP, gross domestic product. It demands that this year we must produce more, consume more, and extract more than we did last year. Forever. If a company stops growing, its stock crashes. If a country stops growing, its economy collapses. But think about the math. In a finite system, infinite growth is not a business model. It's the exact biological definition of a cancer. We are consuming our forests, our topsoil, our clean water, and our rare earth minerals at a rate the earth cannot replenish. We are burning through millions of years of stored solar energy, fossil fuels, in a literal geological blink of an eye. But here is the psychological twist. Why can't we just stop? Why can't we just slow down, stabilize, and live within our means? Because the system won't let us. You see, the modern world isn't fueled by oil. It is fueled by something far more dangerous: debt. Most people think money is real. They think when they work 40 hours a week, they receive a piece of value backed by something tangible. It hasn't been that way since 1971. That was the year the global financial system severed its final ties to reality. Money became fiat, backed by nothing more than a government's promise. Here is the secret the banking elites do not want you to look at too closely. Through a mechanism called fractional reserve banking, money is literally created out of thin air when someone takes out a loan. When a bank lends you money for a house or a car, they don't pull that money from their vault. They type it into a computer. Money is debt, but there's a catch. A fatal structural flaw built into the very source code of global finance. When a bank creates $1 of debt, they do not create the dollar needed to pay the interest on that debt. Think about what that means. The only way the global economy can pay off yesterday's debt is by creating even more debt today. It is a literal systemic chain letter, a global Ponzi scheme baked into the foundation of our civilization. The system must expand every single second, or it instantly implodes. And who bears the weight of this infinite expansion? Look in the mirror. Have you ever felt like you're running faster and faster, but staying in the exact same place? You aren't imagining it. You are experiencing the systemic pressure of a collapsing paradigm. Because the system requires endless growth, it requires endless consumption. And because money is constantly being printed to service old debts, your purchasing power is systematically stolen from you every single day. They call it inflation, but a more accurate term is the invisible tax. In 1970, a single average income could buy a house, support a family of 4, and guarantee a comfortable retirement. Today, 2 incomes can barely cover rent in a major city, while healthcare, education, and childcare costs soar into the stratosphere. The middle class is being systematically hollowed out. The wealth inequality we see today isn't a glitch, it's a feature. When central banks flood the system with cheap money to keep the debt engine running, that new money goes straight to the top first. It pumps up the stock market, inflates real estate values, and expands the portfolios of billionaires. By the time that money trickles down to your paycheck, its value has been diluted to near worthless. We are working harder than any generation before us, trading our finite, precious time on Earth for currency that is being devalued by the second. But the economic strain is just the first symptom. The true crisis is what happens when the financial engine collides with physical reality. To maximize profits and squeeze every drop of efficiency out of the global market, corporations invented a concept called just-in-time supply chains. It eliminated warehouses. It eliminated safety nets. In the modern world, parts aren't stored. They are constantly in motion. Your local grocery store only holds about 3 days' worth of food. Your local hospital only carries a few days of critical medical supplies. Our entire survival depends on a global, hyper-complex web of shipping lanes, automated ports, and algorithmic logistics that must operate flawlessly, 24/7. But hyper-efficiency makes a system incredibly fragile. It leaves zero room for error. A single cyber attack on a pipeline, a single geopolitical conflict in a shipping strait, or a single pandemic can halt the entire machine. What most people don't realize is how close we live to the edge of absolute chaos. Civilization is only ever 9 missed meals away from total anarchy. We have built a palace of glass, and we are throwing rocks at the foundation. We are over-leveraged financially, overextended ecologically, and hyper-dependent technologically. We have created a world where everything is interconnected, meaning when one pillar falls, they all fall. History tells us exactly how this story ends. Every great civilization in human history believed they would last forever. The Romans, the Mayans, the Ottomans, they all collapsed for the exact same reasons: ecological overreach, hypercomplexity, and systemic financial debasement. But there is a profound difference this time. When Rome fell, the rest of the world barely noticed. The global system wasn't integrated. Today, if Wall Street collapses, London starves. If Beijing's manufacturing halts, Berlin freezes. If the global dollar system fails, every single economy on Earth goes down with it. We have built a globalized monoculture. There is no backup system. There is no alternative planet. We are currently running an economic model that treats a living, breathing planet as a business in liquidation. We are liquidation selling our future just to keep the quarterly earnings reports looking positive for another 3 months. This is the turning point. This is the realization that changes everything. The crisis we face isn't a political crisis. It isn't just a climate crisis or a financial crisis. It is a systemic design flaw. Our civilization is unsustainable because its core operating system demands the impossible. This truth can feel paralyzing. It can feel like watching a slow-motion train wreck from the inside of the cabin. But realizing the system is unsustainable is the first step toward true freedom. Once you understand that the infinite growth treadmill is an illusion, you can choose to step off it. You can change how you view wealth, how you invest your resources, and how you value your time. The system wants you to stay distracted, indebted, and desperate, because a desperate population keeps consuming. But the future belongs to those who see the storm coming and prepare, those who build resilience, focus on tangible value, and understand that true wealth isn't a number in a bank database. It's self-reliance, community, and living in balance with reality. The countdown is already running. The only question left is, what will you do before it hits 0?